Alright, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, who you people ignorantly call God. Bahashem, which is in the name of Yahushua, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Plus, I want to give a shout out to Yaakov who's pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also lifting up the name of Yahweh or Yahushua, okay? And to you confusion of faces, whose bloodline traces back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay? Our forefathers was, you make you Israelites as well by blood, though you may look like the heathen nations, you're monks, okay? And if his seed line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man, and if his spirit bear witness with this truth, and you can receive it loud and clear, to you confusion of faces out there, wherever you may be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, you are Israelites. To you sisters that do listen and learn, Shalom. To the elect of the nation of Israel, who his word is going out to throughout the four corners of the earth, Shalom to you as well, okay? And to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the Hebrew Israelites, the true Jews of the Bible, not black, not Latino, not Native American. So, this is a Mark of the Beast update, which the Mark of the Beast is the RFID chip, okay? The microchip implant. And this thing is here, okay? Is here and it's being pushed on a high vibration. So I was gonna play this video. I might not play all of it, but I'm gonna play it and get the scriptures. Lord willing, this is edifying.
Chapter 14 and verse 9. So it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
Debt is exploding in this country. For the first time in American history, Americans as a whole own more than $1 trillion just to credit card companies. That's $8,600 for every household in this country, more than $3,000 for every single man, woman, and child in America, including babies. For every household in this country, more than $3,000 for every single man, woman, and child in America, including babies. And that's just credit cards. Millions of Americans also have student loans, home loans, car loans, plenty of other debt. Are we reaching a tipping point for debt, woman and child, in America, including babies? This is a terrifying subject, particularly the credit card debt, because it's something that everyone can relate to. You sort of understand how it works if you're a consumer. These levels seem very high to me. Are they?
Oh, they're very high. And what's even more concerning is the pace at which we're accumulating it. And in fact, the last 3 months of 2017, consumers racked up credit card debt at a faster pace than in the past 30 years. So faster than even in the Great Recession.
It seems like this is one of those stories that is never covered, but it ought to be. So here you have some of the biggest companies in the world getting kids on credit cards.
I feel that cryptocurrency is the only way that the Antichrist can accomplish what he's looking to accomplish, which is not let anybody buy or sell. If you have physical commodities, you can buy and trade with those. But if everything is digital and you can trace every single transaction you're ever making because it's all put on a public ledger, that is how he can stop you from buying or selling anything. And that would get rid of all physical commodity. You wouldn't need physical commodity if everything is online. And then if you put all that in a chip in your hand or in your forehead, there it is. He can tell what every single person is doing with any single dollar that they have. Right now, if you have cash and you go out to the CVS, nobody knows that you made that transaction. They know somebody bought something, but they don't know it was your name. They don't know it was who you were. Everything you do with cryptocurrency, they know who did it. They know what your IP address is, they know who owns that IP address, and they know they can start mapping what you'll do in the future because they know where your habits are. They've been waiting for something like this. Money you cannot trace. You can't trace it because it's a physical commodity. If you have a bunch of gold, you can't tell who's trading gold. But if everything is online, they can trace everything online. So this is the new way that they can finally trace everything that you're doing.
cards in college, charging rates that banks would never charge. I'm sure it's legal for banks to charge. I mean, I had my step full of this. So the BP Visa card, what's the interest rate? 28% interest. Isn't someone supposed to be? Yeah, well, it's shocking, actually. It's usury. It's illegal in other countries. Why is that happening here and no one's saying anything?
Because people don't seem to have much of a choice these days. And if you look at what hourly earnings have been, decade after decade after decade, they've been growing at a slower and slower pace. People are barely making ends meet. And if you look at like the past 6 out of the past 7 months, hourly earnings have actually been either flat or they've fallen. So people aren't really making much money. But then you look at spending's still growing pretty fast. Income isn't growing really fast. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to take these credit cards and you get desperate. Well, I think part of what we're seeing is that a lot of the financial services have really been struggling to make money anywhere because we've had these interest rates pushed down so low, and that doesn't give those banks much room to work to make money because they take money from you into a checking account and then they go lend it out like a mortgage or something.
Right.
Well, those rates have been so low that it's been tough for them to make money, so they've gotten desperate and they've gone out further and further into these kind of edgy activities just to try and make money.
Preying on the weak.
Exactly.
To bump their margins up.
Yeah.
Finally, what happens? You said interest rates, low interest rates. This is one of the many unintended consequences of Fed policy. What happens when they go up as they're going to?
Yeah, well, your credit card payments are going to go up a lot higher as well. They're going to be going faster and faster. And you look at what all this debt that's outstanding and your payments every month, even if you don't add anything more onto your credit card, your payments are going to get more and more expensive. And at the same time, it's not like that income's growing really fast. So people find themselves just further and further in the hole. And if we do get a recession, which is going to happen, right? I mean, we don't go endlessly. This is a normal cycle. You have booms and you have busts. It's a normal thing to happen. When it does happen, how are people going to get through?
It's worth. I'll just give you a few stats. In 1913, if you had $100, currently it would be worth $2,450. So if you had $100 back in 1913, the actual worth of it in gold, what you could afford now with that, it would be like you had $2,500. And then in 1971, when we get off the gold standard, if you have $100, it's worth $610. Now $100 is worth $100. So if you look at that ratio, $100 to what it was only 100 years ago, it's 25 times the amount. So that's what has happened since we've came off the gold standard. It's because our money is becoming more and more worthless due to inflation. If the American dollar fails, all other dollars fail. And then they have to usher in a one world currency. I believe that cryptocurrency will be the new ushering in of the one world currencies.
It is possible that in the next few years, all citizens of America will eventually be tagged with microchips. These chips will be implanted to help identify individuals immediately. The technology will also be used to answer one question, namely, am I who I say I am? RFID chips are small electronic devices that consist of a small chip and an antenna. The chip is able to store data, while the antenna allows the sending and receiving of information. When such an object is implanted into your body.
Alright, but you get the point. I suggest if you want to watch the rest of this video, This is the RFID chip found in newborns all over the nation. State pushes one world gov agenda. Okay? But yeah, the point is this chip is here. It's just a matter of time before these devils, okay, these elites, make it mandatory. So I'm gonna get the scriptures. Some of you already know these scriptures by heart, but this is for somebody that's new. 2 Corinthians 2. The second chapter. It's 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan, okay, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? This is talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man, okay? Starting with the elite banker families, okay? They want you people to be microchipped, okay? Which I'm about to get. They want you people microchipped, okay? So they could basically have control over everybody and everything, okay? This is Revelations 13, verse 16. And he, who is the he? The elites, man, who are also Edomites, okay? And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And what's that mark talking about? The mark is the RFID chip, okay? Nothing else but the microchip implant, okay? I always go into the word mark because it's important. Because you have people that don't believe it's actually going to be a microchip that goes inside you, okay? This is the definition, okay? The word here is charagma. It's Strong's, let me see, Strong's G580. It says from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching stamped as a badge of servitude or sculpture figure, graven mark. Okay? And that's the thing, man. Okay? That's what it is. Let me see this. This is another one. This is G5482. It's Karax. It says to sharpen to a point, aching to through the idea of scratching, a stake, a palisade or rampart military mount for a circumference in siege, okay? In a siege, okay? So this is going to be a physical mark, and they're going to put this microchip. Let me just get it. This is it. They want to put, the elites want to put this in you, okay? It's going to have all your basically everything about you, your name, your family relatives, what you bought, what you're doing, what time you go to sleep, everything, man, okay? And also, let's go back. Hold on. Okay, because this thing is here. Look, they're about to cut the food stamps starting on February 1st. Trump and these Democrats, they can't get or make a deal or agreement on the whole $5 billion on that border wall. And what's going to happen? The government is going to continue to be shut down till the February 1st. Okay, and they saying if the resolution is not resolved, okay, then what's going to happen? They're going to cut the food stamps off, and they're going to cut, you people won't even be receiving your tax refunds, man. And then that's all going to, what's it going to do? It's going to cause chaos, okay? And what's that going to do? That's just the way that they're going to usher in that chip, okay? They're going to usher that chip in that way, man. But that's a whole nother lesson for itself, man. Okay? This is the 17th verse. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast. The beast is the EU NATO, man. Okay, the system. Or the number of his name. Here is the wisdom, let me have understanding, count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man. The man is who? Esau, man. Okay, because it was an Edomite that created this this whole microchip implant. Okay, and his number is 666, man. Okay. So to you so-called Negroes, you so-called Latinos, you so-called Native Americans, and the confusion of faces who are amongst us, you are not to take that chip. You heathens, starting with the Edomites on down, you take that chip, you're going to get destroyed anyway because you're not an Israelite, okay? Especially not the elect, okay? But to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, there's a consequence for you taking this chip, okay? I'm going to read it now. This is Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, the image being in the system, okay? Just to let everybody know that. It's the system that we're in right now, okay? And really, a lot of people already worship this image. Worship this system. It's just a mad time when they try to implement this microchip, okay? That's when that line is going to be drawn, okay? And receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Okay, that fire and brimstone is going to be those missiles, man. Okay, those thermal ice beam nuclear missiles, man. Them intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Okay, the Russian and all these other nations are going to shoot over here in America, which will happen. Okay, you will be burnt up. You will die a slow death. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that take this chip, okay, which 2/3 of you most likely are going to take. You will take that chip, actually, but the elect won't, okay? I'm just warning you, okay? In the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, that Lamb is Yahweh Shah, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, man. And the smoke of their torment ascended up from forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark in his name. Of his name, okay? You're going to die a slow and terrible death when the Lord shoot these missiles, man, okay? If you take that chip to you Israelites, man, that come across the video, take heed that the mark of the beast is the microchip, and if you take it, you're going to be destroyed, okay? You will be destroyed. That's guaranteed. You will be destroyed, okay? So don't take the chip. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast, okay? Lord, when this was edifying, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. Shalom to the elect. I will be doing a lot more Mark of the Beast videos because this thing is basically close to being fully implemented. It will be mandatory. Shalom.